In order to, it's not always about the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I try to hone in on this whole personal growth thing and what the importance of it. And a part
Mm-hmm.
of that and what helps us in that is taking our life experiences
Mm-hmm.
so that we can use them to catapult and grow and become who we're supposed to
Yeah,
be.
and be better
And
for
so
other
if we
people.
live this life and we think we're perfect, or we
Mm-hmm.
live this life and we think somebody else always in the wrong,
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
You are not always right.
Yes,
It is
it's
impossible
impossible.
for you to always be right. It's
Yeah.
impossible for you to be in a situation and not have contributed to it falling
Mm-hmm.
apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the bottom line.
Yep.
If we don't recognize that we're put on this earth to live in this experience, to be the best that we can be,
Mm-hmm.
in order to serve others and live in our
Yes.
purpose,
Yes.
then we are not honoring our life.
No, at all. At all. What are we doing it for?
What are we doing it for? To
Yeah.
blame others?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing it for? To
Mm-hmm.
just be the victim? Because you're a
Mm-hmm.
victim or you're the victor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
a lot of times
absolutely.
I spent a lot of time being a victim now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm speaking of these things because I've experienced
Experience.
it.
Yes. My love was out. I'm like trying to
Mm-hmm.
make sure everybody else good all the
Mm-hmm.
time, or
Mm-hmm.
wanting to be loved,
Mm-hmm.
but not knowing what that looked like for real for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that was, man, that was a journey. That was a
Yeah.
tough journey to
Mm-hmm.
go through, but I thank God for it though,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of
because
course.
I'm here now, right? So even with your experience.
Welcome to 1188 Outside the Box, where unconventional wisdom reigns and conversations know no bounds, inspiring curiosity and self-reflection on a journey of personal growth in an authentic space to think freely outside the box. I am your host, T. Liz, and this episode's guest is Jennifer Maxie. Join us as we discuss growth, walking in truth, alignment, and power. Sit down with us for a real and raw conversation filled with gems to shift your perspective. Let's jump right in to part one.
Hello, Jen.
Hi, Lizzie Pooh.
Welcome to 1188
Thank you.
Outside the Box. Thank you for coming.
I'm happy that we're doing this.
Me too.
Yes.
I've been excited for a couple of weeks now of this coming up.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us a little about yourself, or would you like for just to come out in the conversation?
Yeah. Let it come out in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see who chooses to say what and who chooses to say, but more people lean towards it to come out during the conversation, right?
Yes.
Get to know genuinely me.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Tell me 3 words. If you can describe your life in
Mhm.
3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
Oh, okay. 3 words. Busy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one. Mother,
Mm-hmm.
grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3. But I'm gonna give you one more
Because mother, grandmother is
together.
yes.
That can really be one.
Yeah.
God fearing.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Why?
Mm-hmm.
So busy. I'm working on that. So it's a different busy now.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a busy where I was just working, grinding,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to maintain. But now it's a busy of working on myself, making sure that I am healthy mentally, spiritually, physically. So I'm busy in that aspect of life. I'm really just trying to make sure that this phase of life matters, like matters even more than before.
Right.
So that's the busy for me. Mother/Gigi, I just love my children and my grandchildren. They're everything to me. They really are. They bring me so much joy, so much happiness, and so a lot of my life is centered around them. And then God fearing, probably should have said that first. But my relationship with God is first and foremost, and that's a big part of my busy as well. I'm working on my relationship, strengthening my relationship with Him. So yeah,
that's beautiful. Yeah. How are you doing that? What helps you to strengthen your relationship with
God? What I'm doing different now is realizing. Well, first I had to just recognize, because I've always been a spiritual person from as long as I could remember. I mean, I'm up in age now, and I've had a relationship with God, but we're human, and a lot of times we waver, right? We start to get in our own way and just do things how we want to do them. And so that's been what I've gone through over the years. So what's different now is me recognizing that honestly, nothing is more important than my relationship with God. It's just really starting to stick now.
That's the foundation of our life.
Yeah.
He is the foundation of our life. He is the reason and purpose for our life. We are here to glorify Him.
Yes.
And so I bet He also knows that we're imperfect, right? That's why He came to be perfect, to show us perfection, but also grants us grace and forgives us each and every single day, right? Grants us grace and mercy.
Yes.
And so even though we waver, because I've wavered to not even believing in Jesus Christ. I've wavered way off You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I get it.
Yeah.
But during all those times when we do go our own way, and we do it every day, probably less and less because we're now realizing it.
Yeah.
But because of that grace, during that time, he never took his hand off us, right? Still guided us, still protected us. And I get really emotional when I think about the fact that even during times when I wouldn't even call on the name of Jesus, when I wouldn't acknowledge him, and I would call every other entity that there was, and the sun, the moon, the stars, and the rainbows, I would not say Jesus. And even in those times, he never took his hand off me.
Still loves you. Still.
Yes.
Even in our flaws, even when we fall short. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of understanding who God is. That he, regardless of how we run from him,
there's not a place we can go.
No, but it's just, he's like, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right here when you're ready. When you're ready to come back to me or ready to come to me, I'll be right here.
And the only thing that I can compare to that is parenthood.
Yes.
Parent and child.
Yes.
Because, and then I like to equate that and compare that a lot when I'm just talking about our relationship with Christ and our relationship and how much he loves us, right?
Yes.
Well, that's one thing. And another thing is how much I need to love and respect myself because I am the apple of God's eye. He made me in his image.
Yes.
And for me not to honor that and speak down on myself or criticize myself, that's almost blasphemy.
Yes.
Because I'm one of a kind. There is no other
There is
me.
No other Liz. There is no other Jennifer, right? And understanding, when you start to get a deeper understanding of who God is and recognizing that regardless of what's going on in the world, because people believe what they believe, right? I mean, you can't do anything about that. But when you have a deeper understanding for God, you have a level of confidence in standing and walking and talking in that, because nobody can take that away from you. It doesn't matter how they're living or what they believe in, right? And so that's just where I am with my walk with God. It's just like he's just showing me some things that I tried to deny and not really like, you know, sometimes we get scared like that might be too much for people,
right? Yeah.
You know, I don't know if people ready for that coming from me, but who cares?
No, who cares?
When we're talking about what God wants me to do, would I rather do what God wants me to do or what's pleasing to people?
And that's just in general.
Yeah. So I'm choosing God. Right. That's where I'm at.
And then the more you seek him, the more you spend time with him, the more he reveals to you, and the more he speaks to you, the more he communicates with you, and the more he reveals things to you. And so for me, on all the journeys that I've been in my spiritual journey, I find most comfort here.
Yes.
I have more safety here. I have more an intimate relationship now, though, where I see God.
Yes.
In everything. I see God in every day. I see God in my child, in just things I pray. And you know what I'm saying? Like God, you know, I've shared this, but about a month ago now, I was praying and I was going through a thing, and God literally spoke to me. It was just
clear. It was clear.
He was so present until his presence humbled me to my knees. I was in a fetal position, just so humbled that out of everything that's going on in this world, you come visit me.
Yes.
Girl.
Yes.
It took me out. And I just couldn't believe it. And then so suddenly I think he was like, oh, maybe that was too much for her. So now he subtly does it. You know, it'll be, but that day, it was a whole speech. Like, I'm doing this because, you know, I'm saving you.
Sometimes we have to feel him in that way.
Girl.
It doesn't have to be every single moment of time, right? That we're dealing, or we're falling on our knees and we're having a conversation with God. But sometimes he has to show up in that way for you to understand and recognize, I'm real.
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm very real. I hear you. And I want you to know that the power that I bestow upon you, because I give you my power through the Holy Spirit.
But only just a little bit of that power, though.
But I need you to feel it right now. I need you to really feel it, to understand how real it is, right?
that thing was I'll never forget it. And so I've been able to since then, like, you know, I was very curious in my journey with Christ, or journey in my spirituality. And because when I was 15 I got saved. My daddy came to the church because I was always there. He wanted to make sure it wasn't a cult or whatever, right? But because of my daddy, which I appreciate, I've had this journey of faith, like Muslim, looked into Buddhism, just everything there is, because my thing was, ain't no way everybody, these good people, going to hell because they don't believe in Jesus. You know? And so I went around the world and went everywhere with it. The sun, the moon, had a whole altar, and had, you know, just all these things, sage, Palo Santo, and just everything. I was all the crystals in the world. I could tell you what every crystal said, did, all of that, right? But I don't believe in Jesus. I believe this phone can bring me some luck, but I don't believe in Jesus. Yeah, I had a moment.
Well, I have a question, if you don't mind. When did you come to the realization that Jesus is real?
2022, was it? 2022. Okay. Came back to. Okay. Because I was there, and then I went on my journey, but came back to. It was 2022.
So for me, and remember in the beginning, you know, I just touched on it a little bit of me having a relationship with God from years ago, but I'm going to share my experience of when I got saved. So I remember when I first got saved, grew up in the church too, Baptist, Methodist, what's the non-denominational, like, I dabbled with Buddhism a little bit because I just thought it was cool. It was just kind of cool, right? I had some friends that practice. But I have an aunt, and she's still alive. I think she's like maybe 81, 82 now. But she has been saved since her early 20s, so for a very long time. Now I think this was back in 2000, maybe. I was just having this yearning. I didn't understand what it was, but I was just having a yearning for something. And I knew it was spiritual, but I didn't really understand what it was I was feeling. But I was feeling like something was pulling me. And so I called her, because I'm like, let me call my aunt. She's wise. She's saved. Maybe she can help me understand what it is I'm feeling. Right. And so she gave me the prayer to pray. She said, this is all your choice, your will. But I think it's time for you to fall on your knees, say this prayer, and ask God to save your soul. And I did. And just to keep it a little short, when I fell on my knees, Liz, and I said that exact prayer that she told me to pray, not knowing what was going to happen. When I tell you it changed my life, it changed my life. I felt something I've never felt before. And for a long time, that was my focus. But again, life, we're not perfect, right? No, we're imperfect. That's why we have to cry out to him every day and seek him every single day. Everyday walk. And so over the years I wavered, but I never forgot that moment. I never forgot that moment, right? And so just now, just realizing I've wasted a lot of time.
Was it wasted though?
Well, maybe not wasted. Maybe that's not the right word.
It's not. You've experienced life, right? And your journey is your journey.
It is.
And you wouldn't have the testimony to tell had you not taken your journey and your path.
Oh, you have a point. You have a good point there. Yes. So let me not. So we're going to change that word. Through all of the experiences that I've had from the moment that I got saved, I was saved the very first time up until now. I am just in a place to where I realize nothing is more important. There's no, and I'm still a work in progress. Now, don't get me wrong.
Always going to be a work in progress.
Still a work in progress. Like long from, you know, the peace that I get when I can just say, God, I give it to you.
Oh my God.
I let go.
Girl.
I let go. Because what I recognize is those things that we don't have control over, that I have no control over, I give it over to him. And I'm so quick with it now. I don't have to be upset, angry, and all in a disarray. I immediately recognize, God, I give it to you.
And even in those things that we can control, I give it to you, Lord, for me to make the right decisions with this. Because for me, like I said that I had an altar, right? Had a prayer room. Had an altar. Had my crystals set up, and the hands, and just everything. And I would pray every day. I would go and I would say, this was 2022, and I would say from like 14 to 22 is when I really went left. Or went on a journey, right? But it's been my whole life. But anyway, 2022, I was in my prayer room. It was April, and I prayed. I was praying. I said, you know, to the Most High God, creator of all things, from whom all blessings flow, so on and so forth. And in this prayer time, Jesus came into the room, and he was like, I just all of a sudden start calling the name of Jesus. started calling on the name of Jesus, and just had a moment, had a whole moment in there.
Yes.
And then within a week or so, I needed a new lawman. Saw a guy driving down, and we was passing each other like this. So I stopped. I was like, I need a new lawman. And so he threw me, literally threw me like he had it like in a sandwich bag with a rock and a card, and threw it to me so it could land in my car. And I called him, and he came. Love to talk. So we was talking, and he was telling me his son had a church around the corner, the Face Center. He was telling me at this time, I mean, within weeks, I found my church. Here I am. Like God was just, everything was right on time. And how when things flow like that, when you are obedient.
Yes.
You know, one of my other guests, the toddler tutor, during our interview, and she's a friend now, she said everything great is on the other side of obedience.
Yes.
Everything you want and need is on the other side of obedience.
Yes. And
I find that every time I settle down and I listen to the voice of God, or I follow what I call it downloading, being downloaded in me, whatever on the other side of that is just better than I can imagine. You know, just this emotional, regulating emotions, just all these things. Because 1188 was given to me because it was God's vision, it's not my vision. It was given to me in 2024, right?
Yes.
And I procrastinated on it. I told my friend, I was like, yeah, I have an idea for a podcast, and I'm going to this, blah, blah. And it just never happened. I was trying to plan too much.
Yes.
How am I going to do this and that? And the first was going to be visual. And then December 2024, it was like, you just got to do it. Stop all that planning. Planning is procrastinating sometimes.
Yes.
And so I just started it. Didn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
If you notice, if you go back to the first episode to this episode, it looks totally different. Page looks, I'm just growing.
Yes, I'm paying attention.
It's just growing. And it's not me.
Yeah.
The fact that I am still doing it and still loving it and still showing up for it, baby, that's not me. It is God.
Yes.
And so he's putting me in these places. Yes. And now I have my niche. What it is personal growth through life experiences, right? And so many things are being birthed from this. And it has just been one thing I know. God is very much in the center of everything I do, but definitely this.
Yes.
And I can't explain it.
Yes.
But I'm just doing it.
And so obedience is key. And that is the season that I'm in as well. And I haven't always, this is just a part of life. We haven't always been obedient.
And we won't always be obedient.
But however, we won't. But in working towards obedience and being convicted when you're moving astray or in a direction God does not want you to go in, and recognizing that, because God will convict you when you're, not moving in a way that is pleasing to him. That's a part of having a relationship with God as well, right? We can't just be willy-nilly doing what we want, but saying that God will continue to bless us and show us grace, but we're not seeking him and truly working towards being godlike, right? So in understanding obedience, because you have been obedient, and like you said, it took autopilot, but you were obedient, right? I'm in that season, and in obedience, I've had to remove some things out of my life, and recognizing, Jen, you can't do whatever that feels good to you if it is not pleasing to God. And so removing those things that I know is not pleasing to God, I am just starting to see him show up more. And I think that happens when you are obedient. He shows up more, right? And so in him showing up more, I am beginning to recognize there is another phase of life that he's taken me into that's all about living in the purpose, in his purpose. It's all about that, living in his purpose. And I know once I start to navigate that journey, truly navigate that journey, which is, I'm beginning to see it, that God got me. Like it's the things that are supposed to happen are going to happen, just like how things are happening. I heard you say you're being put in position, you're meeting people, right? That's what God does. He prepares the table.
Right. And it's never just for us, though.
No.
So I've always said and I still do believe we're always in the right place at the right time. Always right where we're supposed to be. We ain't ever late. We always on time. Even if we show up, this thing was supposed to start at a certain time. We show up at a late time. We show up when we're supposed to. And then it was said to me that when God's word never returns to him void. And if he gives you a thing to do and you do not do that thing, that he will pass it on to somebody else to do. So if you see something in the world being created that you had that idea and then you did not fulfill it, that was so in that moment. Because in that moment, my prayer became, give me the obedience, right? That I am immediately obedient. Give me the sensitivity to know when you want me to do something. Because to me, that's letting you down, because you wouldn't have assigned it to me if you didn't know that I could do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And so I just began to think of so many, because I'm a creative, and I am actually starting to own that right now. I know that these things that God has given me to do, is going to be through that creative side of me. That is my skill, right?
Yeah.
So help me, Lord, steward well over that skill.
Sure,
steward well over all of the things that you've afforded me, the time over everything, so that I can just be and fulfill all that I'm supposed to fulfill here, and touch all the people I'm supposed to touch, and help change their lives. Whatever I'm supposed to do, Lord, let me do it.
Yes, Lord, let me do it. Give me the strength, the obedience, the wisdom, the know-how, which He will, right?
Just gotta ask Him.
You just that, you know.
What do you think your purpose is?
I've known this for a while, and I have fought because I'm gonna tell you what my weakness is first. I'm a lot better at this now. This isn't really a thing now, but it has been all my life for the most part. Wanting people to like me. And in wanting to be liked so much, it has caused me to make myself smaller so that everybody else could be happy. And in making myself smaller, I wasn't really being my true, genuine self. You know, I give a little, but not everything, because sometimes it felt like if I just really let Jen out, it would be too much for people sometimes. And this is where I say I wasted a lot of time because I've known my purpose for a long time. And just listening to you, I'm just like, Lord Jesus, because I have seen things that I kind of started when it wasn't popular. And now it's popular, and I see people that I know thriving in kind of what I was doing when it wasn't but I stopped because of the wanting to be liked and not trying to do too much. But I know that God has given me a gift of healing, whether it's through conversation, prayer, listening. I have a gift of healing, and He has given me a voice for that purpose too, to have an impact, to simply have an impact. But bigger than that, I know that He has put something on me to heal people. Haven't figured it all out yet. It's not for me to figure out. That's why I'm seeking God. Sometimes I see myself, and I don't even know if I want to say this out loud, Liz.
Say it, girl. Say it, child.
I've had visions of me in the pulpit, and as soon as I see it, I'm just like, oh. I don't know about that guy. You sure that's me? Yeah.
Well, I could definitely see it. You have a very calming spirit. Do you find that people that you encounter, because so you say that, I think you say that you've wasted a lot of time and you probably don't realize, because the gift of healing I can relate to, right? And so I'm sure that there are people in your life that you've encountered along this way when you feel like you were straying, that you have healed, that you would not have healed those people had you not been on the journey that you were on. And so I don't want you to negate the fact or neglect the fact that you've been healing all this time. You've been healing yourself, and you've been healing people that you've come in contact with, probably even one time. So if you have the gift to heal, you've been healing. It might not be seen, or these ideas that you felt like you had to do a thing and see it flourishing elsewhere. But I can guarantee you that you can go back through your Rolodex and of your brain and be able to tell stories of how you've helped people. You're in the education system.
Right.
You are healing every single day. So I feel compelled to tell you that. And so right now you're getting ready to be catapulted to the next level of that, because you are realizing and owning the fact and honing into the fact that you are a healer, and you can say that out loud, right?
Yeah.
And so, but you've been healing the whole time.
Yeah. So yes, I am in education, right? I have been in law enforcement for 18 years now.
Child.
I don't know how I made it this far. I don't.
Where your license plate, Liz?
I don't. Sometimes I'm just like, 18 years, what? And the crazy thing about that is I never saw this for myself. This was never anything that I wanted to do in life. Like, it was not a thought. But this is just how I was guided, right? I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a nurse. And I even dabbled a little bit as a paraprofessional when I received my associate's degree.
Right.
And that year, that experience that I had, I was just like, no, I don't want to hurt nobody's children. I don't want to go to jail. So maybe this ain't really my thing. But it's crazy how it all circled back to me being in education. Because I was still, so after I became an officer, a few years of probably my first 5 years, after maybe that 5th year, I was like, I still feel like I'm supposed to be doing something with children. And it would not leave me alone.
So how did you start out in law enforcement? I guess you started out like
So I started out as a deputy, Fulton County Marshal. So as a marshal, right? Running and gunning. I mean, I was jumping through windows. I was on the warrant squad, serving eviction, stuff like that. But the most exciting part with that was being out, because it felt like I was on like SWAT or something.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that intense, but that's what it felt like.
You jumping through windows is that
that's what it felt like. You know, we were out executing warrants. So that was the most exciting time I've had, actually, my whole law enforcement career, outside of what I do now with children. But that's kind of how I started, right? And so did that for a while, but something kept like tugging me again. It's that tug I be feeling sometimes. I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing something with children. And in my research, I started to realize like, oh, they have this thing, because I don't think I knew about it initially. They have this thing where you can be an officer and work in a school system. So I started pursuing that. And it took me a couple of years. And then I finally got an offer to work in the school system. And when I tell you that was the best thing ever, Liz, the combination of the two for me was, perfection. I'm like, God, this is it. This is it. I started to feel like I was in my calling in that phase of my life, that season of my life. And I definitely, what you said, when I think about it, yeah, the kids were drawn to me.
Right.
The kids were drawn to me. I know I had an impact, a major positive impact on their lives. I still do. But it was a little different when I started, because I was working with teenagers in a high school. And I love that. I enjoyed it because I could see how they needed help, you know? And I related to them. I just related. It wasn't, and I used to tell them all the time, forget this uniform. See me. Right. Look in my eyes.
It's kind of hard not to see the uniform.
Yeah,
though. It is. If I had met you in a uniform, we probably would.
A lot of people say like, I can't see it. I would have never thought.
Not at all.
Right. But when they were able to remove the fact that I'm a police officer and I'm literally genuinely trying to connect with them to be helpful, when I tell you those babies opened up to me in a way that I like, just realizing they don't have it anywhere else. They need someone they can talk to. They need someone that will pour into them, that will give them advice, that will give them guidance that they can't get anywhere else. Right. And so that right there, now that was an amazing time. And I'm saying past tense because now I'm in an elementary school because I'm a supervisor.
You don't really like them that much?
No, I love the babies. I love all the babies. But I don't feel like I related more to the older kids.
More there.
Yes.
I completely understand.
Yes. I feel like I had more of an impact to individual lives in that setting than I do now. Right. And I'm also a supervisor. So I can't focus on them like I used to be able to focus on them. And so that's different for me. To your point, though, of you know, this vision that I see, but God, I feel like God is prepared. He's been preparing me.
Of course. Maybe there are some things that were supposed to be attached to what you're doing. Yeah. That you might have seen or thought of before or whatever. Yeah. But you definitely are serving your purpose already. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Liz.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's what I see. That's
yeah.
Yeah. What is success to you? What is success to you now, and how has it changed over the years?
Whew. Now that's a great question. And I don't even, I try not to, this is another piece of growth, right, for me. Because I would attach a lot of my personality to a zodiac sign, right? So I'm trying to get better at not doing that.
I'm a work in progress.
I'm trying to get better, but it's just like, it just matches so perfectly.
Yeah, it does. Because I believe God created all that too.
Well, yeah, I'm just like, it just matches, right? But more of me identifying with that, I'm just trying to make sure I'm identifying with God first, right?
Of course.
So my personality, I'm a workaholic, right? And I'm always, what's the next thing? I'll accomplish one thing. What's the next thing? Okay, I don't feel accomplished unless I'm working on something to accomplish, even though I just accomplished this thing, right? So it's always like okay, what's the next level? What's the next level? I can't stay on this level for too long. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And so for me, that was success, rising to the next thing. I was never satisfied for too long in one
what you had strived for to begin with.
And if I really dive in, I am the first to get a college degree in my family. I am I wouldn't say now I'm talking about with my mother's children. The first to get a college degree, the first to have a professional career per se. My children are the first after me to get a college degree. And so all of those things have always been like my focus, right? Education, getting a degree, getting a good job, career, all of those things. That was success. What success is for me now is having peace. Honestly, having peace. Even if I don't accomplish every single thing that I set forth, knowing that I tried, knowing that I am obedient in what I am called to do in life, what my purpose is in life, I feel like I've accomplished a lot of them. And I see it in my children. My children are an accomplishment, right? And so I'm like, honestly, I would say this for so long. If I don't do nothing else, to look at my kids and to see them thrive, hey, you can't tell me nothing. And these are product of a teenage mother.
Come on now.
Right? So I could just sit on that and say that I've accomplished plenty. The fact that I was able to raise my kids, you know,
stewarded well over the children that God let you borrow.
That God let me borrow, right? But outside of that, it's not even about my career anymore. It's just not like, you know, it's comfort for me is just knowing that I'm pleasing God. That's just knowing that when he looks down on me, that he is smiling, that he is like, daughter, you are doing a good job. You're trying, you know, you're doing my people well. You're making a difference. You're impacting lives. Like, good job. Like, for me, that's success for me.
What is authenticity to you?
Allowing yourself to be who you are without the fear or the worries of how people will perceive you. Whether they like you or not, because you can have the most genuine, heartfelt intentions towards people and they see something totally different, right? And so I think being authentic is just being okay whether they accept you or not. Like, just be who you are.
Be who you are.
Be who you are.
No
that is it. I can't give you any more. I can't give you any less. And the people that are supposed to be in your life are going to be in your life, right? That's authenticity for me.
Yes. It's either you gonna love me or you not.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. Guess who love me?
Hello.
I love me. God loves me. So that's all. That's it. That's and if you don't, and if you're not, and the thing is that who is for you is for you.
Yes. But what greater love is there than the love of God?
There is no greater love.
We're living in a time where there is just so, like, everybody is so emotionally sensitive, right? Like, everybody's just so sensitive
to everything,
right?
To everything. You can't even have your own thoughts.
You can't. So you have to always be conscious of how you're approaching someone, or, you know, how you're talking, and because it's like you can mean one thing, but because they're in a state, you know, mentally unhealthy, all of these words that people throw around, triggered, traumatized, you know, all of these things. And I get it, right?
Because it's a real thing.
I've been there. I've been traumatized. I've gone through plenty of things that I could, you know, I could talk about, right? But I feel like you can't stay in it. A lot of people they're using that. I feel like, and I might tick some people off by saying this, but I feel like some people use that as an excuse to just get away with what they want to do, versus it being a real thing and desiring help and desiring healing. And so that's kind of like when I say that healing piece, because I feel like we're all going through something. We all, right? That's that part of showing grace to each other, because we're all going through something, right? No one's life is perfect.
Right.
But are you just going to sit in it? Are you trying to heal? Are you trying to get better?
Right.
You know?
Some people, I find, that when they'll say, well, this is just me, this is how I am.
Exactly.
That ain't how you gotta be, though. But you've owned that trauma, you've owned that experience, and you suppressed it, and you've let it become a part of who you are. And that is a part of personal growth.
Yes.
The journey of embracing personal growth. And through that, there is going to be some uncomfortable times.
Yes.
With facing that trauma, facing those experiences, realizing what you did wrong in that experience or could have done differently, let me say, right?
Yes.
And it comes a point in our lives, especially when we have childhood trauma. It comes a point in our lives where we have to take accountability and responsibility for our own lives.
At some point.
And that means dealing with those things.
Yes.
And not taking it on as a part of your personality and why you are a fucked up person.
Yes.
Because it just there's too many resources out there. There's too many different types of therapists. There is prayer, there is church, there is God, there is all these things.
And how about the desire, a true desire to heal, to want to heal?
That comes with accountability and embracing personal growth. That comes with looking and seeing that, okay, this happened, and I have to face this. And so then there births the desire to look for the resources that are out there for us to be better. There are ways for us to face ourselves, face our traumas, and face these things, because if you don't, you're going to be stuck on this merry-go-round of self-pity. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. And then you want everybody else to beckon to that and be on this whole, I don't do self-pity. For a little while, I'll listen.
For a little while,
I'll listen. But then what are we going to do? Because I'm a friend. I'm a good listener. I listen well. I don't say too much. I listen. And I follow cues on what needs to be done. Like I'm a natural therapist, I like to say. And so but what are we going to, and I don't, it's a suggestion thing. It's a gentle experience. Now I might be speaking harsh, but when somebody is going through a thing, they really are going through that thing. When somebody been holding on to something for 20 years, they really been holding on to that for 20 years. But you have to commit to being uncomfortable sometimes. You have to. What's a defining moment in your life that stands out to you, that helps you maybe in daily?
I was in high school. Now, mind you, at this point, I already have 2 children. My oldest, Theo and Ashley. I am, I think, a junior, or I might have been a senior at this point. Getting close to graduate. I might have been a senior. And I had a counselor. God, I wish I remembered her name. I cannot remember her name, but I could see if I saw her today, I would know exactly who she is. I had to meet with her, and I think we were talking about what I wanted to do after high school. I was trying to figure it out. And we were talking about that, but she just went off into ministering into me. And she said, Jennifer, you have a bright future ahead of you. Don't worry about what these people are saying about you. You are smart. You are intelligent. It doesn't matter that you have 2 children. That does not have to define your life and what you do with it. So remember that you can when you leave here, you can do whatever you want to do. You have it. You have what it takes. I've never forgotten the conversation that I had with her, because I think in that moment, she was the only one who showed me that they cared. Everybody else wrote me off, literally. All of my teachers. I was an AB student, 2 children. Smart as a whip, though. I ain't even have to work hard. I was able to maintain my grades, right? I wasn't an AB student towards the end of my graduation, because at this point I had 2 children, but I still didn't have to work hard to maintain, right? And the teachers prior to was like, they knew I was a smart kid, but they would not put me in that circle with the smart kids because I was a teenage mother.
How old were you when you had your first child?
14.
How was that?
How was it? Whew. Man. When I look back, I'm like, how did I get through that? Like, it was a lot. I was still in middle school, pregnant. And there was another student. She was actually my friend. I think this is how we became friends. She was pregnant too. We became friends, and we used to just stick together because it was just us 2, right? Matter of fact, I think that's how we became really close friends for a long time after that. And so that was helpful for me to not feel completely alone. And my mother. If it wasn't for her, I don't know. I don't know where I would be, or how, outside of God, I just don't know. But it was a struggle. But what I can say, though, is even without me knowing it, God put such a level of determination on me that I didn't even realize I had. But he put such a level of determination on me and resilience that even with the naysayers and them looking at me crazy, I still went to school every day. I still did my schoolwork. I did not skip a beat, because what I told myself was, if I'm going to take care of this baby, I don't know how, but I know I need money. I know I need my education. I'm going to have to work. I can't, how am I going to need a job if I'm not educated? Like, I knew that much at that age, right? Like, I have to stay in school. That's not an option. And so I just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like I was an autopilot. I just had to block out
all of everything around.
I just had to block
People
it out.
acting like they perfect.
You know, and to have my daughter, you know, my second child, while in high school, it was the same thing. And I was a loner, you know, and that's when I say that this was how I've always been, like circle very, very small, because people can be nasty.
They can,
you know, and that's what I experienced in my early years. People could be very nasty and judgmental.
Adults and
all of that.
People who are supposed to be nurturing you, and those, because students are going to be who they're going to be, right?
Yes.
But it was the adults who were supposed to nurture you during that time.
Yes, completely abandoned me. That's how I felt. I felt completely abandoned.
And then you went to college, and then you got your degree through all those adversities. So I would say that you've been strong.
Yeah. I guess so, huh?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of times we don't see it, just like when you were saying earlier, that when you hit those milestones, you move on to the next.
Yeah.
And we don't take time to celebrate where we are and who we are. Because in celebrating where we are, we also celebrate who we are.
Yeah, sometimes you have to look back. Sometimes you have to, just to remember.
Yeah. You know, because without that, without our past, though we can't change it, we wouldn't be who we are.
Absolutely.
Regardless of it, you know, we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't have those experiences to look back on to see how we navigated to get to be just the person that we are, and also to see what's within us that we need to grow from, change from, evolve
absolutely.
from. What we're holding on to that's got us stagnant if we feel stagnant.
Yeah. You know, I learned too a lot of hard lessons, but I learned that you don't get anywhere by making excuses, right?
You sure don't. You learned that early,
very early.
Because you know, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I'd have been able to still go to school.
You know, so it's just like, you know, just thinking about,
and
like,
for other
now.
people, not me. Just think about what other people gonna think. You know.
Yeah.
When you know, now we know that don't matter. They was gonna be talking about you, some anyway, just like they were talking about each other.
Yep. It would have been something.
It's always something.
Yes.
Always. What is legacy to you?
Legacy. Well, for me, when I'm gone to heaven to be with my Father, my children that I leave behind, generations to come, because for me, it's not about money, right? I want them, when they sit down and talk about where they originated, that they have a whole conversation about Mama Jen, about Ma Dukes, you know, and what I did to impact them, for them to be where they are, to be able to pass it on to their children, and for them to continue to thrive in life, you know. And even if I didn't accomplish all of the dreams and goals that I set forth for myself, to be able to see them live out their dreams and know that it just started from me, and that's my legacy. That's my legacy.
It sure is.
It started from me.
Do you write journals and such?
I used to. I have to get back into it. Yeah, I have to. I used to.
Yeah. I said, because I write. I don't have one complete journal.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of different journals.
Yeah.
But I do want to be able to leave those behind, right? To see the inner thoughts of my mind.
Right.
To read some of my experiences and all those things that too.
That's good, Liz. I didn't think about it
then
like that.
Then your name will never die.
You're right.
Because if you think about it, you know, that's why I always say my mama's name. That's why I always got her picture up and stuff like that, because as long as I'm alive, she's alive.
Yes.
And so I want to pass it on to Noble and so on, because if you think about, what's your great-great-grandmama name? Do you know?
Yeah.
You know your great-great-grandmama
My great.
Yeah. So for you to have to think about this, see, that's that.
Yeah.
We got to find a way.
I know my great-grandmother, but not her mother.
Yeah. That's usually where it stops with us. And so I want to make sure that I do my part with stopping that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So to me, that's very important to know where we come from.
But you know what? All I got to do is call my mama.
I know.
Because she does the ancestry thing. She's been keeping up with that for years. She's been working on that thing.
And then she can give it to you for you to have it.
Yes.
But it should just be readily available for us to speak their name.
Yes.
Because just like your offspring will remember Mama Jen, I'm sure she wanted whoever to remember her too.
Yes. Ooh, okay. Yeah, girl. I felt that. I felt that, Liz.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that.
Yeah. To just add that in the journaling, to just start journaling.
Yeah, with my life, because you know but I don't know my great grandmama. I don't know my great grandmama name either.
Yeah,
I know there was some Cuba.
Yeah,
I know that sort of stuff, but I don't know
her
Grandma Gina mama name.
Yeah,
Great grandmama Gina never name. Elizabeth is my daddy mama, but my mama, I don't know my mama's name.
Wow. Because, you think about it. Do you really know yourself when you don't know where you came from?
Right. And then, I be skeptical about these sending my blood off to be. I'd be like,
right. I don't know if I want to go that route.
That's my people. So I'm not finna do that. But my mama's side, that's I kind of lock off because, a lot of them are still in Jamaica or have passed away, the ones that I could ask.
Yeah.
So it stops with Grandma Martha, my mama.
Yeah.
What have you learned from your most difficult relationship, and how do you use what you've learned in that in your future relationships?
Are we talking about male, female? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
In a relationship. Well, I think I have to. So my ex husband, when I was married, I think I learned the most in that relationship, and even outside of the male female part of it is how important it is to be able to communicate. Liz, I learned the hard way, but I learned it nevertheless, that communication is everything. I'm sorry.
You don't have nothing if you don't have communication.
If you cannot, and when I say communication, I don't mean I talk, you talk. I talk, you defend, you talk, I defend. That's not communicating.
That's an argument.
That's an argument. Healthy communication where you're actually able to sit, listen, allow a person to express themselves fully, and then respond after you process what they said, so that you can actually give a productive response to that, right? And vice versa. That broke my marriage. Not being able to do that. It broke my marriage. Always in defense mode. Just always feeling like I have to defend. And I'm sure he was feeling that way too. Because we just did not know how to communicate with each other. And when I look back on that, I'm just like, okay, I see where I need to change, because going into any relationship, whether it's my friends or my family,
any relationship, business,
it doesn't matter, business, right? Professional, you're not going to be productive if you don't know how to communicate. That's just period.
Because communication is about listening more than it is
talking.
It is. You don't take it personal. You're not defensive about it. Able to express yourself freely, to be heard and acknowledged and understood, but also reciprocating that.
Why is that so difficult for people though? And this is just my perspective, right? And I know, again, we said this earlier, that I am who I am, right? You are who you are. I can't expect anyone to think the way that I think.
Right.
So I get that. But sometimes I just thinking about like the type of person that I am, I learned through my experiences. A lot of the lessons are just simply through not reading it, not talking to a therapist, not like just literally my experiences, living and being willing to sit in that process and ask myself, how can I be better?
Yeah. And so I think that your perspective is unlike so many others, is that's why there is so much stagnant growth, because sometimes people will live in this experience and do just that and not realize that we're supposed to take from our experiences and dissect them in order to, it's not always about the other person. And so that's why I try to hone in on this whole personal growth thing and what the importance of it. And a part of that, and what helps us in that, is taking our life experiences so that we can use them to catapult and grow and become who we're supposed to be. And so if we live this life and we think we're perfect, or we live this life and we think somebody else always is wrong, something is wrong there. You are not always right.
Yes.
It is impossible for you to always be right. It's impossible for you to be in a situation and not have contributed to it falling apart. That's just the bottom line. Now, may you have reacted to what a person's done and had a right to react, yes, but was your reaction right? Or could it have been calmer or more, I'll go back to saying emotionally intelligent, to be able to sift through and work through the situation, right?
Right.
And so, I just think that if we don't recognize that we're put on this earth to live in this experience, to be the best that we can be, in order to serve others and live in our purpose, then we are not honoring our life.
No, at all. What are we doing it for?
What are we doing it for? To blame others? What are we doing it for? To just be the victim? Because you're a victim or you're the victor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, I spent a lot of time being a victim now. Now, I'm speaking of these things because I've experienced it.
Yes.
Now, have I always been the type of person to tell me who I am? Yes. But I never always thought I was right either. But did I always recognize when I was wrong? No.
No.
Was I always able to sit back and say, what could I have done differently in this situation so that it didn't turn out like this? No.
Yeah, no.
But that comes with personal growth. That comes with looking back on a thing and looking at yourself in that thing. Not somebody else in the experience, because they are just part of the experience. But the one common denominator in our lives is us. People gonna come and they gonna go.
Yes.
But we are always with ourselves.
Yes.
And so we got to figure out especially if something is always happening, you always in the middle of some type of drama.
Yeah. You have to. Come on now. You have to self-reflect. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This something ain't right with me that I need to figure out and fix. Right? Like that's just that's that emotional intelligence and that level of, you know what? Okay, stop it. Just stop it. Let's be real. Okay, let me check myself. Right?
The first person who we always need to check is ourselves. Even if somebody has wronged us, betrayed us, did us wrong.
Yes.
What about me made them feel like they could do that?
I had to get up on that one. I had to get up on that one. You hit the nail on the head right there.
And then if you continue to happen, why did you stay in it for so? What about you made you stay in it so long? What made you keep sacrificing a part of who you are for this? That goes back to then self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance.
Yes.
All of those things.
All of that. And when you can recognize, so let me back up, because back to the question that you asked, like with the relationship, right? And what was so powerful and how I was able to get to a place of where I'm like, Jen, there are some things you have to work on within self, because you don't really love yourself. You don't really love yourself. But I'm going to tell you how I got there, because I wasn't initially, like, that wasn't a thought, right? I got to a place towards the end of my marriage when we pretty much decided that it was because we had separated and we got back together, and then we separated for the last time. And that last time we both knew it was over, right? But it hit me so hard, and I wasn't expecting it. It hit me so hard, Liz, that I didn't want to live anymore. I've never felt that way. I have children to live for. No one has ever made me feel like that before, right? But I had a moment where I was in the shower and I was in so much pain. I had never felt pain like that before. Like I felt defeated. I was embarrassed. I felt like everything that I worked so hard for, I failed at it. Like I felt like a failure. And I just started wailing in the shower, Liz. And I was just like, I can't live anymore. I can't do this. This hurts too bad. To the point to where my thought was, what do I have in my medicine cabinet that I can take that would put me to sleep forever? And as soon as I had that thought, Liz, when I tell you, it was like God appeared in that shower with me. And I felt his arms around me. And I felt him. I heard him say to me, don't you give up. I'm not done with you yet. Your life is not over. And the peace that I felt and all of that hurt and that pain was just uplifted. It was just, it came off of me. And that sense of like, I knew God was with me. Like I wasn't alone. In that moment, I realized, Jen, you got some work to do.
Because so much of you was in him.
Yes. Yes. But I was like, you have a lot of work to do, but I realized God was with me and I wasn't alone, and I got it. I could do it. I can do it. And so after, starting my healing process with that is when I started to realize, okay, what's the work you got to do on self? How do you start loving yourself?
Right.
And then I just started working on that. And we're talking, this is years of, now I can say I love myself to the point you cannot come into my life and disrupt anything that I know. You can't. For me, and because I know you have your father, right? I didn't grow up with a father. And I know my sister and I talk about this all the time, of that desire to be loved by a man, because we grew up without our dad. Like I had my grandfather, I had his love, but he's my grandfather, right? I never had that actual paternal love, like from my father. And I think I would seek love from a man, desiring that, needing that, because I never had it.
Yeah, not the husband love, but the just
that manly love, right? And because I never knew not to negate what my grandfather did for me, because he was there.
No, I get it.
And he showed me love, right? But it was still that desire, like just to simply be loved by a man. And so I was choosing the wrong men, right? I was seeking love in all the wrong places. I was seeking love from everyone else and not myself.
Girl.
I was seeking it from the external,
else, but it's here
and not internal.
And we can't love properly if we don't love ourselves.
Exactly. And I never, I can say that, up until after my divorce, never truly loved me. My love was out. I'm like trying to make sure everybody else is good all the time, or wanting to be loved, but not knowing what that looked like for real for me. And so that was that was a journey. That was a tough journey to go through, but I thank God for it though, because
of course
I'm here now, right? So even with your experience.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 1188 Outside the Box podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Join us next week for part 2 with Jennifer Maxie as we discuss further growth while walking in alignment, truth, power, purpose, and all those great things. I certainly hope that you caught some gems to change your perspective on the inner you. In the meantime, check us out on 1188outsidethebox.net for more about us and to shop our collection. Also, catch up on some other episodes right here on YouTube. Until next time, remember that growth ain't optional, y'all. It is a lifestyle.